Hello Junior 4, let's start our science lesson. We're going to talk about living organisms. This is Unit 1 and Concept 1 Adaptation and Survival. So in this unit we are going to talk about the living organisms. What are living organisms? Like what? Like humans, animals, or plants. Okay, so why we call these living organisms? Because they can move, breathe, feel, grow, feed, and also reproduce, means give a baby. Okay, so what do they need to stay alive? They need water, food, air, shelter, and also a good climate or a good weather, whether it's the temperature is high or low. They need a mild temperature. But in some ecosystems like the desert or polar region, forest or oceans, we can find some problems such as high temperature in desert or low temperature in the polar region, scarcity of water in desert, plenty of water in forest, and also availability or lack of food and shelters affect the survival of these organisms. So living organisms should adapt to these changes. To stay alive means survive. What is adaptation? Adaptation is like what you do in a very hot weather. What you are going to do? You are going to open the fan, or wear light clothes, or also use an umbrella. You have to change, or you can't survive this sunny day. That's an adaptation. And also in winter, you should wear a heavy jacket to stay warm or keep your body warm. That's an adaptation. So what's meant by adaptation? It's a characteristic of living organisms that allows them to change over generations and helps them to survive. Survive means stay alive, and reproduce means give birth in their ecosystem. Ecosystem like what? Like what we said before, like desert, forest, polar region, and ocean. Like desert. Let's talk about how do living organisms protect itself from extreme heat of the sun. For example, in desert, if it's human, what this human going to do? This human is going to use an umbrella or wear a light clothes. What about animals? Here we have an example. The starred agama lizard that lives in desert protects itself by keeping itself cool by finding shaded area during hot sunny day. And also palm tree, which is a plant, its leaves are covered with waxy layer to protect from extreme hot climate. So these are adaptation. These are examples on adaptation. What about the penguin that lives in extreme cold climate in the polar region, which is called Antarctica, at the south pole of Earth? That is one of the coldest places on Earth. How can penguins survive in this cold environment? Penguins has an insulating layer of fat on its body. Fats keeps the body warm. And also because it's a bird, it has feathers, and these feathers, they are thick and downy to keep its body warm in freezing cold. But what about the penguin's feet? Is there any feathers or any fat layer? No. Penguin's feet have no fat, no feather. So how does penguin keep its feet warm or protect them from freezing? The blood. The blood that moves in circle path all over the body keep that body temperature the same or constant. That blood moves in tubes called the blood vessels. The blood vessels in the penguin bring cold blood up from the feet. Other blood vessels bring warm blood down to the feet from the feather-coated body. The feather-coated body, below it, you can find the blood vessels are warm, have warm blood. Then the warm blood vessels weave. Weave means turn around or wrap around the cold blood vessels. When they meet, the warm blood vessels heat up the cold blood vessels, so the heat transfers to the penguin's feet. As we said, the blood moves in circular path. Okay? Cold blood moves up, warm blood moves down, and so on. We also have another example in the polar region, which is called Arctic region, where the polar bear lives. How does this polar bear survive in the cold weather? It has white and thick fur to help it stay warm in cold Arctic home. But white fur, it helps it to hide in snow. From its prey, this white fur will be blended with the environment, which is the snow. Its color is white, and the color of the snow is also white, so enemies couldn't see it. That adaptation is called camouflage. This is an example of adaptation called camouflage. So again, what's meant by camouflage? It is an example of adaptation in which some animals hide from their predators or their prey. By blending means mixing in with the surrounding environment. Also the brown and dark bear. They live in forests. They can also make a camouflage. Their adaptation, they have dark fur, the same color of the tree trunk. So it helps them to stay hidden among the trees as they hunt, catch their prey. Also the coracle and fennec fox, as you can see here in the pictures, they live in deserts. Their adaptation, they have sandy colored fur and tanned colored fur to help them hide and blend with the desert landscape. Some types of lizards live in desert, while other types live in other environments among quite colorful rocks. They have colorful scales that cover the body of the lizards that make them hard to see among the rocks. That's also a type of camouflage. Think with these answers. Polar bear has a dark fur to blend in with the snow. Think, is it right or wrong? Polar bear has a dark fur to blend in with the snow. Dark? Snow? No. The answer will be wrong. It has white fur, the same color of the snow. So the answer is wrong. Number 2, in a polar region, a fennec fox preys a young polar bear. Of course not, because the fennec fox doesn't live with the polar bear. Thank you.